uglies. Hey, Amber.
Hello, honey. Welcome to my shit show.
Alrighty, guys. It's early, and I wanted to try and get this filmed so I can maybe get it out for you today. So we have an upload for today, but we'll see. It's going to take me a while. So we're going to be diving into the new season of Dragula. This show, so I used to be like a hardcore Drag Race fan. It's so oversaturated now and like so just reality TV-y. I don't know. Ever since they went to VH1, it just kind of like, in my opinion, but I still love to see the representation and all that. And the show's gotten a lot better, trust me. Like, it used to be very problematic back in the day, and now it's a lot cooler. But Dragula has come along, and I feel like Dragula is just the complete antithesis to what Drag Race is, and I love it for that. And they play into that as well, for sure. Like, the fact that they're kind of like the alternative scary version of Drag Race, you know? I mean, it's very similar formats and everything, but I just love the creativity on there. I love so much about it. So much. But yeah, so we have a new season, a new cast of monsters. Maybe once this season is done, and if you guys enjoy these videos, I can do the other seasons. I am going to have more clips in this one. It's because someone just happened to upload the episode on YouTube. I don't think every episode is going to be like that, but I will have like photos of their looks and everything. So that will all like make sense, you know? And yeah, so I just want to jump right in, honestly. So the Boulets, they pop up, they do their whole spiel. I've noticed the intro segments are a lot shorter now. I enjoy that. I wasn't too big of a fan of all like the weird skits and whatnot. Honestly, it felt like they probably spent half of the production time just doing that shit, and then, but no more of the long drawn out ones. It's now just like a black and white quick intro related to the challenge, and I actually like that. Go right into it. Opens up with a van driving through the woods, and the very first monster that we have the pleasure of meeting, her name is Niohuru X. I think I pronounced that correctly. I don't know. And she's from Tianjin, China, which, a little bit of tea. So she came to the United States before I was in college, I believe, and we both lived in Vermont. She lived in more like middle southern Vermont, I think, and I was in northern Vermont. And then a few years after I moved to New York City, she moved to New York City, and now she's in LA. But yeah, so I've been seeing her around for a while, guys, a while. Glad to see that she is on the show. I'm super excited. I feel like we should address, there have been some allegations thrown out there against her. I can't speak on them. So if you guys want more tea about that, go look it up. I'm not going to address it on my YouTube channel. I think it's icky and it's gross, and if it's true, that's really unfortunate. But the only reason I say if it's true is because Dolly last year, when they won, had a similar thing. Someone came forward saying that they did something, and then it turned out that that was not true. So, you got to be careful, I guess. But they need to do more vetting for these shows, especially Drag Race. Drag Race lets a lot of creeps slip through the cracks, unfortunately. But she looks fucking incredible. All the facial jewelry. I mean, it's a rather simple look, I'll say that. And the bitch must be cold. But the facial jewelry and the makeup and everything, it's so good. She does say that she doesn't have like a traditional performance background. That's slightly concerning, just because we've seen how that's gone down in the past, but we'll see. And then they give us the brief little like clip that they'll be exterminated if they don't make it to the base camp or whatever through the woods. And like, I don't know how they're expected to find their way, but especially because like some of them can't even properly see. I have a feeling that's why so many people only had one contact in. They probably said to them like, you're going to need to be able to see. Like, you can't have the frosted contacts in and make it through the forest. So the next monster to come in is Onyx on Dix, and she is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to have to check her out. I'm not sure why. I thought she was Vegas. She describes herself so much as a showgirl. Oh, you're fine, baby. You're fine. I thought she was from Vegas. I didn't think Pennsylvania, but okay. She says that she's a freak showgirl, and like, I definitely see it, but we didn't see much of it on Dragula, and that was really unfortunate. You're fine, baby. I feel like she got in her head big time. Of course, there have been quite a few episodes since, this one. And we know, like, the outcome of some things, but I'm not going to give too many spoilers and shit like that. We're just going to go through it. She comes in the caution tape look, and for me, caution tape is just, it's so close to impossible to pull off without it reading as Lady Gaga. You know what I mean? It's just such a hard sell nowadays because of like the cultural connotations behind it, I guess. So the next monster to come in is another one that also has some allegations against them, more so about their behavior, microaggressions, and racism. Still not to say that like they're not a great artist and whatnot, and I would definitely say some of their actions throughout the show might kind of justify those ones. Throb Zombie from Boston, Massachusetts. Love the name. Love the vibe. I was super excited when I first saw that he was going to be on it. I didn't know of him before, but just the name, the look, I was sold. Very simple, clean look, but his paint is really cool. I don't know why though, like, did you guys notice that drag kings paint very comic booky a lot? I don't know why that is, but I've noticed. Not a bad thing. All right, and then the next monster is Anaphylactic, and she's from Manchester, United Kingdom. Heard of this one before. Hadn't seen any of her stuff, but I have heard of Anaphylactic. The look was rather simple. They were calling her Mary Poppins, and like, yeah, it was fitting. She just painted herself white. Like, that doesn't necessarily make you a monster, She was listing through like all the type of exterminations she would do, and the very last one she said was, "Give me a tattoo." And if you guys have been following along the season, you know that is going to happen. She's going to get a tattoo. So the next contestant, JK from Brooklyn. Hadn't seen her before. I had heard of Mary Cherry from season 4 because I used to go to Metro when I lived in Brooklyn, and she was like one of the hosts there. I don't know who JK is. Loud, self-described annoying. What gay isn't though? Like, let's be so for real. As much as I love some of the personalities on this show, I would not want to be around them too often. Their paint though, like, they're going to get a lot of shit for their looks over the few weeks that they're there and whatnot. But their paint is fucking incredible. Like, no one ever clocks them for their painting skills. You know what I mean? Number 6, probably my favorite monster on the cast, Cynthia Doll from Kansas City, Missouri. What a fucking character this one is, dude. Oh my God. I wrote down cunt, everything, Tina Crackhouse Barbie, like, it's giving. I love it. I love her personality. I love her energy, how she narrates the season essentially. Like, it's so fucking good. I know that like the look was super simple. That's fine in my opinion. It's not even the first episode, but it is. But like it's just the intro, you know? And they probably told them wear something that you don't mind getting ruined, because they literally had to go through like rivers and shit in this haunted forest, and they were getting, I mean, we're going to get to that part, but they were literally tasing them. And then the next monster to pop up is Blackberry from Houston, Texas. She quotes that comic books are her inspiration a lot, and I don't necessarily see it, but that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. I do enjoy Blackberry and the like leather daddy kind of look that they were giving in the very beginning. Like, it's nice. It's very polished, very clean. And that's something that they showed throughout the entire season, to be honest. I'm just not sure if I'm getting the scary, you know, no scary. I wrote down paint is top tier in the dark. Just shady bitch. Number 8 is Jarvis Hammer from Atlanta, Georgia. Hadn't heard of Jarvis before, but I was so excited to see him and hear him explain like his character and whatnot. It's definitely something that we've never seen on Dragula before. A king with such a defined like character and story for their character that they completely made up, you know? He's just so stoic and so like dapper, even when he's out of drag, just talking to the camera in the confessionals. Like, I just love their character overall. And yeah, he could read me a bedtime story any night. And then number 9, Satana from LA, California. Now, I don't mean any shade to any of these contestants. I'm sure they are all lovely people outside of the show, and, you know, they obviously don't deserve, like, hate or anything like that. I was not fucking with Satana, and more so because of, like, what Jarvis said, like, I'm not living for the attitude. That's more so why. It felt like she's just very young. That's the energy it gives, is that she's really young and just like catty to be catty. And I don't know. We'll talk about it more because like at the campfire, she really kind of goes in. But like even in the very beginning, I think she's very overproduced. Maybe missed the bus for Drag Race. At least she is confident. We can say that. Number 10, Fantasia Royale Gaga. Incredible. From Miami, Florida. I was so excited to see Fantasia was going to be on. She's a legend. The look, it was very simple. But of course, that body. Although I will say, all of her looks fit weird. And maybe it's just the giant fucking breasts, but everything just fits very weird on her. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll discover that more as we continue this series. And then the very last one, last but not least, Orgotic. They are from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I am in love with this person. They are so creative, so artistic, so fucking off the rails, like insane. I love it. I love it. Oh my god. He's just like such an uncanny little fuck, you know? You know? And even when he's like talking in the confessionals, like the yellow stain on his teeth. I love it. I love it. It's a fake stain. It's a fake stain. It's not really like his teeth are that yellow. I just love it. It's such a great vibe and energy for a character. I love it. So they're trekking their way through the woods, just a bunch of clips of them. Basically, like some of them were getting tackled to the ground and tased over and over again by these people. JK was just doing the fucking most, flipping all over the place, got themselves hurt. So, and Cynthia literally, I wrote down hot question mark when she got tackled and was just getting tased like in the stomach. So I found it interesting that Neohoru was the first one to come out of the van, but the first one to arrive at the campsite is Onyx. That was just weird. And then Satana came in, instantly shady. I don't like that energy. I really don't. And like I said, we have seen moments later in the season. She's a very sweet and genuine girl. And so I don't mean like any hate towards her in that sense. Just instantly shady. And they made a comment. Throb follows in after Satana. And Satana says, I'm really interested to see what he's going to bring, but I have a really high standard for kings. And I'm just like, girl, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Why do you have a high standard for kings? I have a high standard for drag queens because I think half of them are cookie cutters, all the same, boring, like generic top 40 shit. Which, to be honest, Satana, that's what you were giving the entire episode. So, sorry. My shade is going to come out a little bit. That comment just like kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Because, I wouldn't say to her like, oh, well, I have a really high standard for trans women. Like, ew. Because she is trans. So, like no one's going to say that. So why would you say that about another female artist? Like, that's so fucked. Cynthia comes in right after. TV Gold. Spoiler alert, she does get eliminated at some point. Not going to say when. But they could have kept her to the very fucking end. They could have crowned her. She could have done exterminations every week, not won a single challenge. I would have said, give her the crown. Make her a producer, executive producer for the show. I mean, instantly as Cynthia walks in, Onyx clocks the bra and panty. Most people do, to be honest. Blackberry comes in. I love the little bit of like Throb not knowing where Blackberry is from. She's like, oh, I love Blackberry. I've been to Dallas a bunch of times. And she's like from Houston. Anaphylactic comes in afterwards and people are being so shady. Like, they're kind of being shady to everyone, but they're especially being shady to Anna. And I don't necessarily understand it because Anna's kind of an icon. You know what I mean? Like, Jarvis comes in after, and I love him so much. He runs up and is like, oh, great, a funeral pyre. I love him. He's adorable. Fantasia rolls in. Everyone is fucking shocked, dude. Oh, and the chemistry between Throb and Jarvis, it's just so adorable. It's like little brothers, It's just, I love to see it. Love to see two kings on. Love to see all the trans representation as well. Neo, Satana, Fantasia. Like, it's just so great to see a very diverse cast and more international monsters as well. Yeah, so Fantasia comes in. Everyone is shocked, just shocked. And most are very skeptical as well. They're like, I'm not sure how much of a monster this one really is because she is such a established performer within like the drag world and whatnot that it was kind of like Melissa Be Fierce coming into season 1. She was this huge pageant queen, huge like title winner, and then all of a sudden comes and does like a spooky competition when that wasn't necessarily her shtick before. But she says she can do all sorts, so we'll see. Orc comes in, fucking incredible. The way that he goes up to Anna and is just like, Anna. Oh my god.
Anna.
Odd. Weird. Creepy little guy.
I probably would have started crying if I was in like the room when that was happening because it's so fucking creepy. But it's just chef's kiss. Fucking beautiful, orgotic. Oh my god. Neo comes in afterwards. Everyone is super excited. Most people know who Neo Huru is. She's very, very popular and like established on Instagram. So she's more of like a social media queen. Not necessarily a bad thing, but Everyone knew who she was when she rolled up. And then very last is JK being loud as usual. And that's all we're going to say. And yeah, Satana right off with unnecessary shade, in my opinion. Like, they hadn't even all really said hi to each other or introduced themselves. And all of a sudden, like, Satana's just like, so let's cut the shit. Who do you think's going home first? Like, what? And then Cynthia answered first, and then they moved right on. I was like, Satana should be the one fucking answering that shit since she wants to pose the shady question. But I was so glad that Jarvis clocked it. Just my first impression of Satana is they're playing a game for sure. I think it's more so just like a mental game for themselves, but like, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. Once again, no hate to these people. Cynthia, love you, but the gall to say that Orc was going home first. Bitch, please. Bitch, please. I would have gotten one look at him and been like, well, there's your fucking winner, dude. Like, why am I here? The fuck? And yeah, I wrote down, to be honest, I don't like the season starting off so catty and judgmental of each other. Feels like early seasons of Drag Race. And Dragula, to be fair, it is in its early seasons, you know? It's a major thing, and I would say it's picking up speed a lot faster than Drag Race ever did. It's still new, you know? And I don't want it to get, like, boring. Like, Drag Race now is fucking boring. Someone said, we can be shady and then we can be friends. And it's like, clearly not. If y'all know how the rest of the season went, clearly not. Everyone seems to take it all very fucking personally. I mean, Cynthia couldn't even take being flipped off during a lip sync, dude. She had like a breakdown about it. And everyone's like dogpiling JK basically the entire season. I'm really excited for what the Last Supper is going to look like, because holy fuck. Fantasia says that she thinks Neo is going to go home, and that's real rich. She said because she thought her look was simple, and Neo was like, okay, Miss Fashion Nova. Like, and it looked like something you could probably buy from Fashion Nova. When you put into consideration her measurements and whatnot, there's no way she's buying anything off the rack. But it also doesn't all fit that well. So, like, Throb comes for Fantasia with a lot of skepticism and whatnot. I think it's justified skepticism. Later on, it seems to get a little iffy, but we're not there yet. And then the Boulets pop up serving like a mommy dearest kind of look. Major budget this season. A huge upgrade from, like, let's just say season 1, when they were all crammed on a tiny stage in a basement. And then they let us know that the challenge this week is going to be Terror in the Woods. So exciting. That's such a fun little first challenge. And with like the Haunted Forest vibes and everything, it's going to be fun. They cut to them walking into the newly transformed laboratory, and there's just a bunch of free shit there, product placement, shit like that, you know. They gotta get their sound bites in and shit. They're still being like very shady and whatnot. To be honest, I don't think we're necessarily going to be like reviewing the middle of it all. Like, if there's some good drama and whatnot, then we'll talk about it. But what I really care about is the floor show and the challenge. Essentially, that's it. Like, and I mean the extermination too. All the like talking and whatnot. I wish like they would spend more time showing them actually trying to make their looks and whatnot, but whatever. So yeah, they are all working on their looks. And Cynthia gives us the very famous line, hummus to the fungus. And that's going to be used so often throughout the next few seasons. Like, Cynthia was such a fucking character and gave so many good sound bites.
I am paying hummus to the fungus.
Did this bitch really say hummus? Like the dip?
I did.
And then cut to getting ready for the floor show. The Boulets come out in like this black and red latex look. I love it. They need to paint under their nails though. If you're going to have those long stiletto ass nails, you need to paint underneath them. It looks so shitty. Like, I'm sorry, especially because they're like this lot. Like, you can see right underneath them. You need to paint under those nails, ladies. Come on, I shouldn't have to be saying this to you guys. The guest this week is the director of Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, some Netflix shows. Mike Flanagan. I believe he's been on before. I think so. I think both of these guests have been judges before. I know Felissa has. And then star of Sleepaway Camp, Felissa Rose. Love her. She played Angela in the very, very original one. And she was also in Terrifier 2. She has been a reoccurring judge, I think, every season. Love to see her. She's an icon. First out the gate is Jarvis. I know that some people were giving Jarvis some shit. I don't mind the look necessarily. I don't 100% understand how a pilgrim is woods. It was interesting. Their paint was incredible. Also, like, I wish they were able to show off what the shirt said better. I never understood what it said, except at the very end, you can see that Julia Fox is written on it, and I'm just like, what? What? I mean, she is, like, you know, our modern feminist queen, but what does she have to do with the woods? Next up was Fantasia. Simple but scary, honestly. Great performance. I think we'll see that a lot with her looks in the next few weeks. Is very simple, but she puts a lot into the performance aspect of it. So, Orgotic. I wrote down Kafka Daddy. Like, it's giving Franz Kafka, metamorphosis, true fucking nightmare. So clean, but so nasty. And Satana gave shade with the, I don't know what's so scary about a fresh pressed suit. Bitch, it's more scary than a fucking fairy, I'll tell you that. Onyx on Dix, she's up next. It's alright. It's alright. I understood their critique that I don't really know how this is woods, you know? And from their little talking heads and whatnot, it's not giving what I thought Onyx on Dix would be, you know? Nihuru comes out, and she is the nine-tailed fox. I love to see it. When she said she was doing ancient Chinese, like, folklore, I got so excited. I was like, ooh, what is she gonna do? And sure shit, she did the nine-tailed fox. Yeah, great look. Incredible. I don't know how she got all of that done. I really don't. There's just so many small, intricate details and whatnot. I don't know how she gets it all done. Throb Zombie. Really scary and fucking nasty, honestly. I think it was a great start for him. I think it really set him up well. He said that he was really pissed off by the end of the floor show, but I don't know how. He's so hard on himself. I don't get it. But yeah, that was a nasty performance from him. Blackberry. I enjoyed it, but it could have used some editing, in my opinion. The look, it was just a lot going on. And then I didn't really understand the story of the performance that they were trying to sell. It just didn't come through for me. Satana, she literally blows pixie dust, dude. Like, this look completely missed the ball for me. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I will tell her that. You know, it's a beautiful look. And even Jarvis says it, and she's like, it's very pretty, but it's pretty fairy. I wrote down insert La Zavaleta being like, where's the horror love? Where's the filth? She said she wanted to be a cunty fairy, and it's like, well, that's what it was. It was a cunty fairy, but it completely missed the ball, in my opinion. Then Cynthia comes out in her shroom look. Loved it. I loved it. Oh my god. And then, like, the close-up of the teeth and the eyes, like, that brought the terror out big time, because it was very fashion, I will say that. JK, very messy, both literally and figuratively. I don't necessarily hate the look. but I do think it's simple. Like, all the elements of it look very simple that you could just find anywhere, kind of. But it has an essence of what Dragula kind of used to be, with like the homemade aspect. Like, it's giving maxi glamour, kind of, you know what I mean? And then the very last one is Anaphylactic, and I didn't know it was her at first. Complete transformation. But I also don't get the woods aspect. Like, just because there's moss on you and you're green, that makes it woods. Insert Tamar Braxton. Why is she green? I loved the performance, but the moss, it didn't read as woods to me, you know? And then they get ready for the judgments, and I love the little beginning section where it's just the Boulets. The guests have left, so it's just them deliberating. I feel like they need to, I'm so nitpicking, I feel like they need to match their fucking neck and shoulders to their faces, makeup wise, because their arms are so pale in like a completely different undertone than their face, and it's just like, ladies, please. They love Fantasia and are skeptical of Anna because they're both two huge names, which I think is valid. They're basically creaming their fucking pants for Orgotic, and yeah, same. So, the safe queens this episode are Anna, Fantasia. Well, Anna is a low safe. No, they get sent to the back. So it's Anna, Fantasia, Cynthia, Throb, and Jarvis. Good mix. None of them I want to see go, you know, first round. Honestly, I don't want to see any of them go first round, but it is a competition. High are Orgotic, Neo, Blackberry. Although Blackberry, it seemed kind of iffy. Like, they did say she was in the top, but they had critique for her. The others, they didn't have any critique. The low placing queens for the week are Satana, Onyx, and JK. Which, honestly, like, for a first episode, it kind of made it very easy to see who would be in the bottom and who wouldn't. So, Nihuru X is announced as the winner. Very, very well deserved. She did fucking incredible. There was no way that her or Orgotic weren't going to win it. And I think they did say that, like, they know Nihuru doesn't have that much performance experience, so I feel like that might have pushed her up a bit because they know she doesn't really perform, and she did do a good performance. So JK and Satana are the ones in the bottom. Onyx is saved by the skin of her teeth, and they must take a 5-mile hike up a mountain in the middle of the night, bungee jump off of an abandoned bridge, and then, side note, they also had to hike back down afterwards. Bro, this challenge, that challenge would have fucking done me in. But yeah, so cut to, they all come into the cauldron, and Satana is somehow fucking confused that she's in the bottom. And it's like, girl, look around. Like, get your own expectations of what you are supposed to be doing out of your head, because that's going to fuck you up, for one. And two, it's going to lead you to, like, being upset when people don't perceive your art the same way that you perceive it in your head. You know what I mean? So she is all over the place, being very shady to JK, who is giving it right back. Everyone is being very shady to JK. And I don't necessarily understand it. Like, why is Throb, like, jumping in to be shady and dismissive of JK when, like, Throb, you weren't even in the fucking conversation to begin with, realty. And this continues for multiple episodes, dude. We're just gonna say it right now. I do not fuck with the JK train of hate. And I know the Boulets didn't either. If you guys watch their Creatures of the Night podcast, they did not fuck with it either. They said that was very shitty and very bad of the cast members to be treating JK that way, because there was ultimately no reason for it. People were asking, like, is there stuff that's happening off camera that we don't know about? And they said JK was flirting a lot with Orgotic, and it was a bit much at first. But other than that, like, why? Because I don't use this word lightly or often, but it's giving bullying. It's giving when a Bora got everyone to pile on and attack bitch pudding. Like, that's what it's giving, you know? And I don't want to see that. I know that they're monsters. I don't want to see them acting like monsters. I want to see them portraying themselves as more evolved than those fucking catty drag race girls. Like, I just don't like to see it. Cynthia is fucking hysterical, though. I'll give her that. And her and JK start going at it. And honestly, other than the hiking part of the extermination, it looked fun. I would have done it. I've wanted to do bungee jumping for a while, but it's expensive. But shit, you're going to pay for me to do it at night? Sure. I would not have enjoyed the hike, though. Really wouldn't have. Being in the woods at night? Nope. But yeah. Also, why no heels? Make them hike in heels. What the fuck? I'm kidding. But they should have. They should have had to hike the 10 miles in heels. So with that, it appears as if JK has been eliminated. We'll see if it sticks or not. Little spoiler for episode 2. JK does come back. I'm very glad to see them coming back because I wanted to see more of them. I really did, to be honest with you. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see how they perform and whatnot. Like, not just them showing off a look. You know what I mean? Definitely let me know what you guys thought about this video, because I'm going to have to clip a bunch of shit in. This is going to be, like, way more work than I ever put into an Amber Lynn react. Let me tell you that much. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm super excited for next week. Next week. It's already happened. So the next episode is going to be Trash Can Children, which is like a spin-off of the Garbage Pail Kids cards and figurines and whatnot. So that's a super exciting one. Going to be a lot of fun to talk about. And it's a filth-orientated floor show, which they don't usually do. Usually you only really see filth. I mean, in like the extermination challenges or fright feats, or at the end of the season in like the final four floor show is when they show like the majority of the filth of the season. But they decided to give us a filth-orientated challenge, and I love it, honestly. Let me know what you guys thought. And yeah, just give love to any of these freaks if you enjoyed their work and whatnot. Like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.